Hello everybody, this is the commentaried version of my Ikaruga video. I am of the opinion that Ikaruga is one of those games that is significantly beautiful in its own right. The music, the gameplay and all, it really syncs up really nicely, and I kind of felt bad with the idea that I'd be talking over it. So I decided I would dub this separately and then just post both videos. And I might not do that for every future video, because if anybody had told me this post-editing commentary stuff is going to be so taxing, I might not have done it. But I don't know, I'm glad to do it at least the first time, and we'll see. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know anything about Ikaruga, or shmups for that matter in general, let's see on the screen blowing shit up. Shmups in general, especially the Japanese style ones, follow this idea that only the very central pixel of your ship is actually damageable. The rest of it, bullets can pass through harmlessly. Ikaruga took that concept, which was great, and then added its own amazing concept. This idea of like having the two colors, so black and white in this case, or red and blue depending on how you see these colors on the screen. Your ship at any time is either black or white. You can hit a button to flip it, as you see me doing frequently. When you're white, you shoot white bullets. When you're black, you shoot black bullets. White bullets deal double damage to black enemies, and black bullets deal double damage to white enemies. I would say it's a racist commentary on life, but I think all of us know that's not the case. Anywho, the other thing that's cool is that you can absorb or dodge, if you prefer the term, but absorb bullets of the same color, and that becomes your energy meter, as you see on the left. So right here, look at me, I'm literally ramming into that blue energy bar so that I can fill up my entire laser meter. And that's basically it. Those are your weapons to get through the game with. I guess the other thing that's cool is the chaining system. Whenever you kill an enemy or part of an enemy, in the case of that large battleship, of one color, you get a point, I guess, in your chain status. Look at the left, and top left, and you'll see like those white lights going on. That's because I'm killing white enemies. If you get 3 of them in white or 3 in black, you add 1 link to your chain. And obviously that's the best way to make points. I mean, I think the chain bonuses get up to like 25,600 or so for every extra chain link after the 8th. So you definitely want to keep that. And all it takes to break the chain is getting an extra enemy ship of the wrong color. So that's, at least that's all coming to mind as being the core mechanics of the game. I guess the only other thing I'd mention is bullets, not bullets, the laser that I'm firing, which is charged up by the absorbing, and that's literally it. You have no other weapons in this game, not like other shooters where you get, you know, truckloads of weapons, then you die and lose them all. Alrighty, so this boss destroyed, woohoo. At my prime, I was able to beat this entire game without having to continue. I'm kind of far from that, so I'm kind of build up there. And they'll give you that little rank based on your chain status and how many times you died. So a trick I figured out for this level: if you stand all the way at the left of the screen and just hold it, you can chain all of the original enemies and make your way to an A chain without much risk. Problem is, this area, it's very, very hard to chain. Well, scratch that. It's somewhat okay. It's not that complicated to kill the enemies correctly. The problem is, if you take your time picking out just one color or the other, you end up with so many bullets on the screen that you get killed. And you'll see as the run goes on, I pay less and less attention to chaining because, well, I mean, it's better to stay alive. The reason I care about score at all, actually, is because of the life system. You gain back a life every, I think, 2 million points. So you heard that beep a few moments ago. I got the 2 million mark. Alright, let's see how I handle this. That's the other thing that's actually not uncommon to shmups. You can, if you blow through a certain segment faster, more enemies will appear to keep you occupied, as it were. This happens in other shmup games, don't get me wrong, Ikaruga is not unique to that, but Ikaruga is very synced to the music as well. Like, you can feel the music has slowed down here, and there's a reason for it, because the gameplay has slowed down right now as well. You're not handling quite as many at once. pure and ill-conceived attempt to try and keep my black chain alive so I go all the way to the other side. And I guess it's not that ill-conceived. I made it work. 7, 8. And I just blow up everything because I don't want to think too much. Right now I'm not good enough to like play that segment properly, so I'm just gonna wing it. Okay, there we go. I actually got nearly all my energy recharged off of that, which is good. But I didn't actually kill it, which is less good. I should have been able to kill it. Oh, he'll go down. Wow, I seriously didn't kill either of them? I guess I was using black to shoot black, and like I said, if you use the same color as the enemy, you deal significantly less damage. So Ikaruga began as kind of a cult classic game in Japan, and then it became more and more popular. I think it was an arcade game originally. It was ported over to many systems after that. This is the Dreamcast version. It's not the best, but it's the only one I can actually run right now. The GameCube version I liked a lot, actually. I would strongly recommend that version to many people. I heard good things about the Xbox Live Arcade version, though I've never actually owned an Xbox myself, much less the Live Arcade, so I can't speak to that. But yeah, so Ikaruga is definitely a popular game, even among shmups. It's also the company that made it is also of note. This company is called Treasure, and frankly, every shmup game they touch turns to gold. I played Gradius 5 for the PlayStation 2. It was very, very well done, and no surprise, it was a Treasure game. Alrighty, so this boss, you saw how they label the weak points. You have to shoot the caps in front with the same color, then go in and shoot the weak point. Problem is, well, everything here can kill you. And of course I deal double damage if I'm using the correct color, so there's an incentive to stay as white while there's a stream of black bullets firing out right by you. Depending on how much you can get away with. I used to be a lot better at this boss. Like, I was surprised I died as much as I did, honestly. I didn't realize I had my skills were that rusty. So that's the second level. And thus far the game has been kinda hard. I mean, I've died, what, 5 times? 4 times? I can't actually count, so yeah, 4 times. Well, all that's about to change. The game now becomes insanely hard. Chapter 3, the difficulty just spikes. It spikes so high that when Chapter 4 is harder, it doesn't even feel that much harder. This opening segment right here, this intro to the chapter, it took me so long to get any pattern down for it so that I could survive somewhat consistently. And even then, executing that pattern is difficult. I mean, look at this. You got these gigantic, massive lasers firing at you from every side. And yeah. The gameplay unfold by itself. And watch this right here. I literally hide in that corner because my ship, again, it's only the central pixel that's vulnerable. So I can get away with a lot. Try to be so clever with these dots, and I end up slamming into the wall behind me. I should have just switched to black and pushed through. Anyway, polish these guys off pretty fast, and because I did so fast, I get these mini ships so I can keep my chain going. And that's that. And starts the level. And just like that, notice the the underlying music theme of the game is the same throughout. And it just builds so much speed right at this point. Like, this is the point where the game feels like it starts to go fast to me. And honestly, I feel like this video is doing a little bit of a disservice to the game on account of I can't get the sounds to play properly, but all the bullet sound effects should be playing right now, and they're not. Without the bullet sound effects, it's very muted, honestly. The whole game feels very muted. And you should see how good some people are at this game. There's a famous, popular, whatever the word you want to use, video clip of an ambidextrous person playing this game 2-player and controlling both ships simultaneously to beat this level. There's also like a whole super play vid thing where people are decimating these waves and getting 100+ chains. I'm not there. I don't plan to be there, but it's a fun place to take a look at. See, it's theoretically possible to chain all of that, but it's also much more likely that if I tried to, I would die. So I don't try. I just go for the safe approach, which still isn't enough to save me. And another clear. Boom. Fun boss, the jump rope boss, as I like to call them, because that's exactly what it looks like, laser jump ropes. And you get a lot of this in Ikaruga, which you couldn't get in another shmup. You got these bullets that are actually undodgeable. I mean, look at them. You have to be on top of them every now and then. So you avoid for a while, and then you have to switch colors to avoid. I've described it before as dodging in an extra dimension. You can dodge up, down, left, right, or you can dodge in and out of the screen with blue or black, depending on the situation. And later on we'll see much more of that with swaths of bullets of either color coming from opposite directions, so you have to deal with it. Incidentally, I have broken 4 million, which means I got my second life. I have gotten both of my extra lives at this point. But I'm pretty sure this is the boss that will force the continue out of me. Yeah, this is the boss that forces the continue out of me. So for the wheel boss, you see these 8 nubs on the end in different colors. You have to destroy all of them. Not that complicated as of yet. It's a little bit tricky, but nothing complicated. You'll notice I focus down one color for the most part, so that there's less bullets of that color and more of the other, so I'm relatively safe just staying in one color. Emphasis on relatively, because those solid walls will kill you regardless. Of course, once you take down enough of the... there's the death. But yeah, once you take down enough of the blocks on the end, this whole thing becomes a whole lot more dangerous. With gigantic fucking super lasers! Now, if I was cleverer here, I would have gone straight for the black, filled up my energy, and gotten off a shot while in black. And again, the whole color deals more damage thing, that totally applies to your super weapon too, so if you're coordinated enough, there's no reason not to switch before firing, and then switch back. Okay, there's the C rank, and next. So this is level 4, where you enter. See that ship in the background that looks like a gigantic funnel, or like a radar dish almost? The whole point of this level is that we're going to be entering that, and flying through it, and blowing it up piece by piece from the inside till we get to the core and take out the core. So, without further ado, let's enter the Matrix. And you notice how I'm like trying to chain sort of here and kill the right enemies? Yeah, that goes out the window because, well, things get hard. Look at the intricate pattern of the bullets here. The red is spiraling to the left and the blue is spiraling to the right, but the rate at which the red is spiraling is variable, so they actually do this thing where they'll interweave and then send out the tendrils again. And you'll notice that I switch to blue and then start moving left, and then switch to red and start moving right, because that's the easiest way to maneuver this field. This field took me forever to get any good at, and I would like die constantly, but then I developed a pattern and it became somewhat simpler. Around here I stand outside, so it's blocking half the bullets, but I still have to be attentive since there's stray bullets that come that far anyway. And then boom, attack of the little pillar ships. So I retreat inside, and here I got too hasty and pushed out, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited another second and then done it. And right here, you work your way out as the bullets start up behind you, and you're free. I like re-entering the sphere before those little circle enemies have a chance to fill it up, since that can make it much more difficult to re-enter later. But so far so good. And here, you know, I was doing the switch thing, and that's cool, but I get cocky and forget to pay attention to it. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get hit by red pretty soon. Yeah, there we go, it didn't switch. But, fundamentally, I'm not bad at this game, so I could have gotten past that part without losing a life with a little bit more, if I was a little more on the ball. The easiest way to do this boss is just, absorb, 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 and fire the super lasers a few times. Problem is, I died, and when you die you lose all the energy you stored, so it took me twice as long, and then I die again, which is just sad. Clearly not up there where I used to be with multitask. But yeah, Ikaruga is one of those games which is not meant to be easy or beatable. It took me about 2 years of playing this game before I was finally able to beat it on one continue. And ultimately that's how they measure your progress. You don't unlock like levels in practice mode or whatever unless you beat them without unless you get all the way up to them from the beginning without having to continue. So the game judges the game will eventually give you infinite continues, like if you play for a few hours. So that's not the point. The point is to not need to use them all. Ooh, I forgot this segment. So the best way for me to do this segment is to stay as white and stay on the left and blow everything up. That way all of the gun turrets that come out from the side are also white, and I absorb it like I'm doing here, except I'm doing black on the right. Problem is I forgot that little stunt, and so I kind of made it much more challenging than it had to be and got myself killed more than once. Things to do better next time I run this, which I do intend to do again. That's one down. And here I forgot again my pattern, which that really is a lot of how playing these games, getting better at these games comes down to, is having a pattern and getting better and better at it. It's similar to the way when I play Crawl. When I've been playing enough lately, it's not just a matter of you know, making mistakes or not. You can get an instinct for danger. You know, something feels wrong about where you're standing, and you take care of it. Whereas if you're just starting up after a while of not playing, all of that game sense is lost, and bam, see there, I didn't have to die there, but whatever, I did. So this is the place in the game where I find the lack of bullet sound effects most noticeable, because that right there, one of the best sounds in the entire game in my opinion, is when this entire machine opens up on you and starts firing at you. So notice that I'm playing slalom with the laser beams while trying to pull down these hatches and not die, like I just did. And once the hatch is all the way down, enter. Now the tough part, of course, is killing the core when your back is towards it. Tough as in impossible, because you can't, and that's fine. Just wait until the wheel turns around and just move with the wheel. That boss, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out how the hatches were working, and I would decide to just wait it out for 60 seconds rather than actually try to kill it. Well, funny thing, it turns out waiting that long against the boss, because ultimately bosses are timed, if you run out of time the boss goes away. Waiting that long trained my ability at dodging him so well that I ended up getting better. So you'll notice I have no spare lives, but the opening to chapter 5, the final chapter, it's a treasure trove for making easy lives, just because of how many chains you can get and how easily. As long as, you know, you don't die and you don't make stupid mistakes. There you go, leave them. And the bullets they're firing are just enough to give you enough energy to be full again, which is great. Because that's what you need. I still don't have a good system for dealing with these guys. I know that they exist, I just don't have one. Gotta figure one out eventually. Blow them up as soon as they arrive, before they get a chance to fire too much at you. And right here, if you can figure out how to work these guys, the sheer amount of points you can get from them is insane. But yeah, I got the 2 million needed for another life, which is good. Of course, the way I'm playing, I'm gonna need it. So, Chapter 5 is something of a boss medley. You get a couple bosses in a row. And this is the first one. You have to destroy those 4 nubs and do it while you're in a laser grid, and stay in the laser grid while the laser grid moves and while bullets are coming at you. And yeah, if that sounds easy, well, then maybe you need to play this game. I jest, but in seriousness, this ended up being one of the easier bosses of Chapter 5 for me when I was good at it. And as you can tell, I don't really care about writing my score anymore. If I'm continuing to get here, it doesn't really qualify as a score as far as I'm concerned. Okay, there we go. So, attacking the ship, and again, I opened wrong here. I should have opened against white, for reasons you'll see in a second. Because if you open against white, you can start off as being black and staying black while the black laser chases you. But right now it's, you know, and then they both out. But basically you got these 2 snakes coming at you, and you've got to avoid them both because you know, either of them can kill you. But if you change the color of one of them, you can absorb its trail. And you'll notice that now that I've died, the red one doesn't return, or the black one doesn't return. That's, again, kind of a standard fixture in these kinds of games, of only having, if you die, the game becomes a little easier on you. A little. And just that segment. Okay, almost out of lives, so it's time to face off against the second to last boss of the game. It's like playing energy pong with the boss. And I get killed by a stray bullet with no continues left. Which means, most unfortunately, you guys will not get to see the end of this game, at least not in this run. I'd say I'm sorry to say that, but truth be told, I kind of am a little bit heartened to say that. The way I see it is, I would like to get another shot at running this game, and I'd like to show you a better run than with me having to use that many continues. So, expect at some point in the future me to play this game again. And if you guys have any questions or things you'd like to see in particular, as usual, please let me know. Thanks for watching.